On July 7, 2022, a TikTok influencer blocked a bridge in Mexico with luxury cars just to film a video. This infuriated one of the most dangerous cartels in Mexico, and what they did to him changed the course of his life forever. Rodolfo Marquez, also known as Fofo Marquez, is a controversial Mexican influencer with millions of followers on his social media. Born on July 15, 1997, Fofo undoubtedly comes from a wealthy family. There isn't much information about his family background, but from what we know, his grandfather manufactured luxury shoes in Mexico, while his father was one of the owners of a gas station called Total before he passed away. It is clear that Fofo comes from a privileged background. His social media persona revolves around posing with the most luxurious cars, going to nightclubs with his friends, and living the dream of any young person his age. It was through showcasing his lavish lifestyle on social media that he gained over 3 million followers, making him, as Gen Z calls it, an influencer. However, Fofo's fame on Instagram was not enough. He also decided to join TikTok, where he built a fan base but also started to get into trouble. Many people were watching him and, of course, wanted to take him down. But Fofo didn't care. He had a huge ego. He thought he was invincible. But all that ego was crushed the moment he messed with one of the most dangerous cartels in Mexico, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as CJNG. It would be a great injustice if I didn't tell you about the severity of this crime syndicate and its ruthless methods. Once you are aware of their operations, you will understand why anyone, even someone seemingly insignificant like a TikToker, would face serious dangers when crossing their path. Indeed, several TikTokers featured in this video unfortunately encountered this same criminal group. These were the words written on a note by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel in June 2009, after they executed 3 Mexicans and disposed of their bodies in a truck. Initially, Mexican authorities underestimated these guys as a smaller faction within a larger cartel. However, the CJNG quickly demonstrated its threat by executing 35 members of rival cartels and dumping their bodies in various vehicles along the Mexican highway. The leader, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho, has gained a notorious reputation as the devil in human form. Born on July 17, 1966, El Mencho emerged from an agricultural family with 6 siblings, and despite this background, he diverged early on, seeking a more ambitious and nefarious path to success, marked by the stain of cocaine and the blood of Mexicans. El Mencho's criminal journey began at the age of 14, doing menial tasks for larger cartels, and later in the U.S., where he continued his criminal activities. However, he was deported back to Mexico after a gang-related sentence in Texas. Upon his return, El Mencho joined the Millennial Cartel as a hitman. The subsequent fragmentation of the cartel led him to ally with a subgroup of the Sinaloa cartel under Ignacio Nacho Coronel. Here, he managed drug operations, finances, and violence in the Mexican states of Colima and Jalisco. After a few more years, he took over half of the group, renaming it the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, with El Mencho in charge. The CJNG has evolved into one of the most violent criminal entities in the world, donning military-grade equipment that could be mistaken for official Mexican military units. They are ruthless, they are cruel, and they should not be provoked. So, what exactly did Fofo do to irritate this extremely powerful and corrupt organization? Like almost all TikTokers out there, subject to posting daily videos to keep their followers entertained, Fofo was doing the same. But this time, he decided to do something that few had done in Mexico. On July 7, 2022, Fofo took 3 luxury cars and parked them right in the middle of the Matute-Remus Bridge in Guadalajara, Mexico. He got out of one of the cars and began filming the traffic that was building up behind him. He said things like, "We closed the bridge on our own. This is what I want to demonstrate. What money and power can do. I literally closed it here because I wanted to. Illuminati." He continued to boast about how he had closed the bridge for several minutes while all the other cars were honking, and even contemplated doing some TikTok dances while innocent people were unable to access the bridge. Fofo posted this on TikTok, and it didn't take long for the video to go viral. Many people online expressed their disgust for Fofo, insulting him for his stupidity. One Twitter user even called him a headless idiot. The mayor of Guadalajara also threatened to sue him, with TikTok officially banning his account and removing the video in less than 48 hours. After losing access to his account, Fofo turned to other platforms to post an apology video. He apologized for his childish behavior and asked for forgiveness from those affected. The mayor accepted Fofo's apology, but stated that he needed to complete several hours of community service cleaning the very bridge he blocked. With no other option, Fofo agreed to do what was requested. So what exactly did Fofo do to irritate this organization? Like almost all TikTokers, who post daily videos to keep their followers entertained, Fofo was doing the same. But this time, he decided to do something that few had done in Mexico. On July 7th, 2022, Fofo took 3 luxury cars and parked them right in the middle of the Matute-Remus Bridge in Guadalajara. He got out of one of the cars and started filming the traffic that was building up behind him. He said things like, "We closed the bridge ourselves. This is what I want to demonstrate, what money and power can do. I literally closed it here because I wanted to." He continued bragging about how he had closed the bridge for several minutes, and how all the other cars were honking, even contemplating doing some TikTok dances, while innocent people were blocked from accessing the bridge. Seeing how well Mencho and the CJNG as a whole thrive on intense violence, it could have been anyone who wrote that message to Fofo. Members of the CJNG believe that El Mencho should be feared and revered by Mexicans. Therefore, Fofo making such a commotion in a city under the direct control of El Mencho was an insult to him and his authority. Fofo, undoubtedly wealthy, finds that where his wealth ends is where the CJNG's begins. These guys make billions of dollars annually and control a significant part of the Mexican government. Their message terrified Fofo because he knew that no one could protect him if the CJNG truly decided to kill him. Once the message circulated, things became serious. The CJNG doesn't joke around, and Fofo knew that. He made an online apology and immediately ran back to his parents' mansion in Mexico seeking refuge. But being in that mansion wouldn't change anything. The family then hired armed security guards to watch the house 24 hours a day. Even with that, Fofo was not safe. The CJNG has taken down the deadliest cartel hit squads and even battalions of the Mexican army in the past, so no level of security could hold them off. Fofo was scared. He couldn't leave the house for days, stayed away from the windows to avoid sniper attacks, and even carried a walkie-talkie to communicate if he was in danger. After a few months, Fofo finally returned to his life, but his actions against the authority of the CJNG changed the course of his life forever. However, as crazy as it sounds, this next teenager had the audacity to do worse than Fofo. Before his account became private, TikTok user Illuminati6 engaged with his followers by accepting challenges posed to him. On one occasion, a user dared him to insult El Mencho, which he did in the video, The Tick. The TikToker wore a loose black t-shirt and ripped black jeans while carrying a backpack. He leaned against a light pole and said, "Listen well, you son of a gun. El Mencho can suck my... You know what?" He then mentioned, "I don't sleep like El Pirata or El Chanito from Goyacan," referring to 2 other social media teens who faced unfortunate circumstances. He ended the video by saying, "Untouchable. I made a pact with the devil. I'm here to give you a show. I'm not afraid to say this. I'll say it right here. El Mencho can suck my..." Wow. I mean, you have to applaud the courage of this young man. When that video went viral on Reddit and Twitter, many felt that he must be very confident to say such things while showing his face. Different users commented, "He's going to regret this," and even mentioned, "This is a tutorial on how to disappear." But surprisingly, there was no word from El Mencho or the CJNG. Some rumors suggested that the teenager didn't live in Mexico, which might have made it difficult for the CJNG to reach him. Reports indicated he lived in Richmond, California, complicating any potential confrontations. However, there was a twist a few days later. This teenager posted another video apologizing to El Mencho for his words. He said, "I regret what I said. I wasn't right. I wasn't aware of what I was saying. I was wrong that day. I woke up feeling foolish. I didn't think about the consequences. I did it for followers. I apologize for all this. Mencho, don't harm me. I have family just like you. I'm sorry. We all make mistakes. I have personal issues, sir. Just remember that we like you." The internet went wild over this. The apology video shocked viewers, as it was the same person who had so much to say just days before. People began to wonder if El Mencho made a personal threat to the teenager, or if he realized the gravity of his words. Although we never learned what happened behind the scenes, this TikTok user simply disappeared, and his account was made private. There was a video of him on another TikTok account a few weeks later, but beyond that, no one knows what really happened to him. So, do you think El Mencho silenced him? I mean, maybe he did. Who knows? Originally from Mexico, he gained fame on the internet under the pseudonym El Pirata de Culiacán, translating to Culiacán Pirate. Born in Sinaloa, Juan's childhood was marked by difficulties, such as the absence of his father and his mother's limited job opportunities, leaving him in the care of his grandmother, who could do little for him. Interestingly, his childhood neighborhood was just a few kilometers from the domain of the renowned Mexican drug trafficker, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. However, Juan had not yet encountered the world of drug trafficking until he decided to drop out of high school and seek a better life in Culiacán. Upon arrival, Juan took on several poorly paid jobs to support himself, while simultaneously developing an unhealthy affinity for alcohol. This drinking habit permeated both his work and leisure time, regardless of his age. And we all know that nothing good comes from excessive alcohol consumption. But for Juan, it led to prominence. He established a young YouTube channel where he uploaded videos of himself consuming large quantities of whiskey and beer, followed by his reactions to getting intoxicated. Although it may seem unusual, these videos garnered an unexpectedly large number of views and audience reactions, and adding a humorous element to his content contributed to his rapid rise. His Facebook page amassed over 1 million followers, while his Instagram had about 300,000. Notably, his popularity led to appearances in music videos, television shows, and even attempts at a music career. However, nothing good comes from excessive alcohol consumption, and Juan's sudden fame took a drastic turn for the worse. He began posting images on his Instagram that were not well received by older demographics, as he was only 17 at the time. These photos depicted him with firearms, luxury cars, and often attractive women in revealing clothing. And while everyone thought he had become involved with the Mexican drug underworld, he had no affiliation with any cartel, at least not yet. Instead, a meeting with Beto Sierra, a social media management expert, marked the turning point for El Pirata. Sierra's guidance encouraged him to abandon alcohol-centered content and embrace more lucrative ventures, such as launching his own product line and even trying a music career. However, Juan remained a ticking time bomb, and his fate was sealed sooner than expected. On several occasions, he openly challenged numerous adversaries, including a drunken video in which he provocatively insulted Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho. He uttered these exact words, "El Mencho a mí me pela la verga," which carried a boldly confrontational meaning in Portuguese, loosely translating to, "El Mencho grabs my dick." I really don't understand why these guys put themselves in danger, knowing how dangerous El Mencho is. Even El Chapo's cartel does not dare to provoke the CJNG, and we know this is due to their extreme levels of brutality and violence. Still, these teenagers, perhaps for a few likes, or the desire to go viral on social media, feel the need to challenge a man who kills humans like flies. In response, the CJNG issued a severe warning to Juan to stay out of Jalisco if he wanted to remain alive. But Juan didn't care. He continued to throw parties with his friends at a bar in Jalisco. It was at that moment that CJNG hitmen sent him on an immediate trip to the beyond. On December 18, 2017, armed men stormed the bar where Juan was celebrating, and with a hail of over 18 high-caliber bullets, his life was abruptly cut short in less than a minute. The multiple wounds inflicted made it so difficult to recognize the body that he was later identified by the tattoos on his arms. His death, rather than his life, became the focus of an article in Rolling Stone magazine, highlighting his end at the hands of the CJNG, and of course, the foolishness of challenging one of the most wanted men in the world. But with his death, another Mexican teenager saw an opportunity to gain notoriety. With El Pirata's death, El Chanito decided to confront El Mencho, claiming he was seeking revenge for his friend's death. The viral video showed El Chanito holding a rifle alongside a small child, whose face was covered, also wielding a rifle, as they insulted El Mencho. They called El Mencho names like fool, and even mocked El Pirata for consuming so much alcohol just to gain content and fame online. Needless to say, this statement obviously led to El Chanito's death. However, for El Chanito, the CJNG decided to take things to the next level. El Chanito apologized for his statements to El Mencho and claimed insanity, but that did not stop the CJNG. He stayed off social media for a while, and everyone suspected he had been killed. But the real confirmation of his death came when an anonymous Redditor posted a video of him being decapitated by CJNG hitmen. The images were immediately taken down due to their graphic content. The message had been sent, "Don't mess with El Mencho,"